6 tips on how to get ahead in life in your 20s. That's what we're gonna be talking about in this video. And I'm actually gonna just give you these tips. Try new things, don't focus on women, start your own business, stay away from debt, seriously consider school if it's actually an option for you, and don't be a slave to your impulse. That's it, we're done with the video. I know you guys have short impulse. There's no reason for me to make this long, so we're done. That's it.
Hold up, wait a minute.
But wait, there's more.
Anyway, I appreciate you for joining me today. I'm just teasing, so if you're still here with me, I appreciate you for rocking with me. It was just recently my birthday. I don't know when you're watching this video, but it was my birthday on May 7th. Just turned 34. Oh shit, I'm getting old, okay? So anyway, on my birthday, I've kind of started this new habit that I started this, I think I was in my 20s, that I tend to start reflecting on, you know, where I'm at in life. You know, we tend to always sometimes, you know, other people is, just some day that you kind of just look in the mirror and, you know, where am I at in life? You know, am I on the right path? You know, as we want to call it, because there's certain expectations that society puts in place. There's certain expectations that we put upon ourselves. There's certain expectations that the people that are in our life have on us. Maybe your partner, maybe your parent, or even friends or certain relationships. You know, so sometimes we tend to reflect, and you know, I was reflecting on my birthday, and I came up with these 6 things. I just actually wrote these things down. I came up with these 6 things, and the way that, you know, most people when they do these videos, they reflect on their experiences, and you know, that's what I'm going to be doing today. You know, as I was coming up with this list, I was reflecting on my experiences and kind of what I have learned. And maybe you can learn from me, you know, because I always say there's that old saying that there's a difference between being smart and being wise. I don't know if you've heard this before, but being smart is learning from your own mistakes. And being wise is learning from the mistakes of others. So if nothing else, if you're going to watch this video, at least learn from my mistakes, because, you know, I strive to be wise and not to be smart. So anyway, these are the 6 things that I would tell my 20-year-old self. You know, you Brian Otieno right there looking in the mirror 20 years ago.
Stop it. Get some help.
How long ago was this? This is what, 2023, I'm 30. Okay, cool. All right, this is like 2010. This is what I would tell my 20-year-old self. So, and again, you know, as I'm presenting this to you, I'm gonna be, you know, reflecting on my life and why I noted these things down, because everybody's gonna come up with their own version of their own list. So my first thing on my list was trying new things. You know, I noticed that, and I did this subconsciously, and I would advise my 20-year-old self, this is one of the things that I actually got right, because there's a few of these things on this list that I did completely get wrong. So I always tried new things, you know, even with my career. I tried so many things. I started, if you've listened to any of my stories, I started my first business when I was 16. Even before that, I started my first hustle in high school. You know, I used to sell CDs. This is back in the day where you can download music with Kazaa, and a bunch of different online pirated music. And I used to sell CDs. I sold fake prom tickets. You know, I sold fake parking tickets. This is back in the day where you could just print them out on a computer. You know, there was no QR code or anything like that. You know, this is a long time ago. So, you know, I was a hustler. You know, this is back before I could even start working. At the end of the day, you know, my mom was a single mom. I had to figure out how to pay for the, you know, the movie nights on Friday, you know, and the ticket for the ice skating ring. I had to find a way. So, I started doing that. Eventually I started my own business. You know, and I went and I actually worked for Geek Squad. So I got into the computer space for a second. And I even remember as far back as even when I was young, I thought about being a doctor. So I actually bought a CPR book where I wanted to learn how to do CPR and kind of medical things. And then I figured out that that's not what I wanted to do. I can also tell you about a story doing career day in junior high. You know, that class that we all have to take, which is career class. I went to job shadow a pilot. And I learned the hard way that I have a fear of height.
My plan is that I will be pilot and I'll help everyone. Pilot.
So I crossed that off the list. So I tried to figure out from a very young age, that I'm reflecting back on this right now, that I've always tried to figure out what did I want to do. And at the age of 16, I knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted to start my business, okay? So, you know, I knew it so much that, you know, I made a video about how my mom almost stabbed me when I had to tell her that I didn't want to go to college. And especially as an African child, you know, with African parents that moved to the US. That was a big deal. You can probably watch that video. I'm gonna put a link in the description. But nevertheless, I always knew what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to run my own business. I didn't know what it was going to be. So eventually I started experimenting with different types of businesses. You know, I sold CDs, and then eventually I started my own computer repair business. And even before that, in the meantime, between time, because when you start your business, it doesn't just launch. You know, I was a computer assistant. I was a truck broker where I used to help people, you know, move loads, you know, find drivers. I used to hire drivers as well. I used to, I worked as a mortgage broker immediately after high school. That was my first introduction to the finance industry. You know, I picked up trash after football games. I worked at this trash company called Glad, and Glad was actually pretty awesome. Glad was a 12-hour shift job that it was 3 days a week, and they paid us for 40 hours, but all we had to do was just come for 3 days. So I used to go to work on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and the rest of the week I was free to actually, you know, do my entrepreneur stuff. That's when I started working as a mortgage broker. So I would absolutely advise that to anybody that's 20 years old. If you get a job like that, 3 days and you had 40 hours a week, and it's me, myself, and I time. You know, you have nothing to worry about. You don't have no kids. You don't have anything. You know, I would absolutely do that and stack up as much cash as possible. So, and that's what allowed me to, you know, focus on when I went to work for those 3 days. And then after Tuesday, when I was done, I started learning about the mortgage industry. And again, you know, I did this immediately after high school. So it was my first introduction to the finance industry. And I learned so much by having money to pay my bills, but also the time to do and learn a new skill. So, you know, that's one of the things that I would highly advise you to do. Try new things as it pertains to your career. And experiment on many different things. You have the most valuable time for you to get ahead in your 20s. Don't be like one of those guys who just spends their time in their 20s partying all the time, smoking weed, and then you get in your 30s, you know, you're so way back in life, you can't even hang out with the friends that you hang out with because, you know, they have families, they have careers, they've graduated from, you know, college with their 2 or 3 year degree, they're, you know, starting to buy houses, and you're still talking about the old days back in high school, because you know everybody has one of those friends that is still stuck on, you know, that high school party or that prom night or whatever it is, and, you know, maybe they were, you know, popular in high school or whatever it is. Don't be one of those guys, you know. So one of the things that I think worked out for me, and it's going to work out for you as well, and I'd highly give you this advice, is absolutely try new things. Absolutely continue to figure out, you know, what you want to do. And the best way to do that is by failing. You know, I wouldn't just jump into something because it's what everybody's doing. And I say that because everybody, 90% of the people that are around me, everybody's, you know, went to college. Everybody, you know, took that college route. Majority of them went and wasted so much money and got a bunch of student loans, and they ended up regretting it. Some of them did graduate and ended up getting good careers, and they're doing great right now, you know. But I am glad that I took the route that I did, because it allowed me to cross a few things off the list. It allowed me to save so much money when it comes to student loan debt. It allowed me to be free and experiment life, because a lot of people actually, you know, they suppress that freedom, and until they get into what I consider the rat race is when they start experimenting with, well, maybe I didn't want to go to accounting school and be an accountant, so why don't I try this right here? And they get into this weird multi-level marketing schemes and all kind of crap. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to my next point. Okay, hopefully that hit home. So I would tell my 20-year-old me, I would tell you if you're 20 years old, as it pertains to your career, you want to try as many things as possible. That's point number one. Point number two, don't focus on women, okay? And this is, I'm smiling because this is one that I absolutely failed at. You know, I had my first son, I think she was pregnant at 20. You know, we dated for a month and she got pregnant. That's exactly right. I say that exactly correct. It was a month. Just think about dating somebody for 30 days and then them getting pregnant.
No. Wait.
Okay, it was shocking. Life was just moving way too fast. And, you know, if I would go back, and I love my son, you know, I'll show you a picture of my son. My editor should add a picture of my son, Kylan. If I would go back, I would absolutely wait a few more years before you have a baby at 20 years old, 21 or so. You know, focusing on women is a waste of time at this day and age. And there's a few different points that I want to make here. Number one, as a man, your sexual marketplace value doesn't really hit until you're 30, 35. If you haven't heard that before, that's absolutely true. A woman's sexual marketplace value usually starts around, depends on who you talk to, but I would, in my opinion, right around 18 or so, and the woman's sexual marketplace value start to go down right around 28, 27. And a man's sexual marketplace value as to what women value in a man, you don't really get that until probably age 30. Just really think about it. In your 20s, you're dumb as hell. As a man, your brain doesn't, as a man or woman, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. That's a scientific fact. And of course, women mature much faster than men. That's also a scientific fact. So, you're kind of stupid, and at the end of the day, you're broke as hell. What do most women want from a man? They want financial security. They want physical security. So financially speaking, you're broke as hell. You eat McDonald's. Okay, I used to hit up the dollar menu all the time. I used to go into McDonald's with $2.19 and order the McDouble was for $1 and $1 fry and a cup of water. And I'd go to that little machine and I would give me a soda or give me something else. Cause I was broke. Okay, $2 would get you a meal. If you remember back in the day, right now with inflation, you probably can't even do that. But back in the day, that's how it was. $2.19. The 19 cents was the tax. You'd be able to get you a meal. So you're broke as hell. And you don't have any skills. You don't have really any value to the world. So I would say that this is the time that spend a lot more time at the gym. That's one of the things that I did not do. I never played even sports in high school. I started hitting the gym later on in life. As a man, you must spend more time at the gym. There's this quote, and I wish I would have read this quote early on in my 20s or even when I was in high school. The quote reads, "No man has the right to be amateur in the matter of physical training. It's a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength in which his body is capable of." Hit the gym in your 20s. Don't focus on women. Build your strength. Try new things. Try to figure out what career you're going to be getting into. And at the end of the day, in the meantime, between time, while you're still trying to do all of that, hit the gym and hit the gym. There's another short video by Jordan Peterson that I'm going to play for you. And he talks about how, every man should be dangerous or, you should have the capability. Anyway, I'm not going to say it right. Let Jordan tell you, what it is. So
saying men should be dangerous. By dangerous, that implies I should be ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control. If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue. Otherwise you confuse weakness with moral virtue. I'm harmless, therefore I'm good. It's like, no, that isn't how it works. That isn't how it works at all. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be, because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good. So
that's my second tip. Would advise you to make sure you don't focus on women. You don't want to be having a kid at your age. What ended up happening as well, if you've been following my YouTube channel ever since I started this YouTube channel, me and the mom, we've been together for only a month, so it wasn't that much time to even get to know each other. So we ended up having some issues, going back and forth with court. It wasted a lot of financial resources. It wasted a lot of time, energy, and just there was a lot of focus put on that, and there was just a big area of my life that was just focused on trying to fight to be able to access my son, which was just really ridiculous. You don't really want to be getting yourself in that trap. You don't want to be bringing children into this world where you're not going to be, involved on a day-to-day basis. Something that I had to learn the hard way. I tried to learn from all my mistakes, and later on I'm going to tell you how I switched all of these and how all these adversities actually ended up helping me. But that's the second tip that I would give you is don't focus on women. I wish I knew that. I would have definitely hit what I call my height of success much earlier in life if I didn't have to waste as much time as I did focusing on women. You just don't need to do that, okay? The third thing is start your own business. I don't care what you do. As a man, Okay, I'm sorry for sounding sexist, but as a man and a woman as well, in your 20s, start your own business. I don't care what it is. Start a business cutting grass. Anything, any kind of side hustle. Go ride Uber, but start generating income where you're in charge of your time, where you're managing the income, so you can see that you can do something other than be in the cover of a job where you clock in and clock out, where you're in control, and every single life decision that you make is gonna control how much money you're gonna make. You know, it's really important to put yourself in the entrepreneurial mindset, you know, for you to be able to do your own thing, to generate money, because that's basically what it is. For you to generate money, literally generate money. There's so many different ways of how to do that right now. You know, we live in the gig economy, as you probably heard that before. We live in a time, this is a beautiful thing about the time that we live in right now. A lot of people don't really realize it. Marketing used to be one of the biggest things that most small businesses had a challenge of. Right now, there's literally free marketing. You can go buy a bunch of stuff and sell them on Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook is not going to charge you for advertising on there. And people go to Facebook Marketplace all the time. Okay? You can buy a car and put it on tour, and tour is going to advertise that car for you. You can buy a house or even rent a place and put it on Airbnb and make money off of it. You know, I'm making YouTube videos right now promoting my business, and this channel could make money off this video, so I could be paid to market my business and also get paid. Anyway, hopefully you're getting the point. It's a beautiful time that we live in right now, that you can, you know, so as an entrepreneur, you know, you can get on Upwork and you can learn one specific skill, video editing. The person that edits this video is on Upwork, a young, very talented individual. You know, there's so many different skills that you can learn. You know, ChatGPT is out there right now. You can learn how to create copy through ChatGPT and offer services to so many business owners. You know, there's so many different things that you can do. You know, it literally is an entrepreneurial world that we're getting into. And, you know, like I said on my previous videos before, I think it's going to get to a point that every single home will be a business. And there used to be a time that was like that, believe it or not. You know, back in the day, every single house had some type of business. You know, mom or dad used to cut hair, somebody cut the lawn, somebody sold milk in the community, somebody did something. That's where we're going, I believe. Okay. So anyway, I would suggest would be my third tip is try a new business. Don't just get caught up in a job. And, you know, what I did is I showed you in my, you know, early on in this video, I had a job that I worked only 3 days a week. And then I started working as a loan originator, a mortgage broker, you know, and it was an independent, you know, job that I did. And that allowed me to do so many different things. It allowed me to make sure that I'm paying my bills and not have to depend on anybody else. It allowed me not to be getting into debt by going to college and getting drunk every single weekend and smoking weed every single time with everybody and not, you know, thinking that I'm getting somewhere in life, but I'm really not doing anything. Okay, a lot of people do that. A lot of people waste their life. You know, so that's what I would suggest is try to start some type of entrepreneurial business. You know, try to make money some type of way. You know, I did some things that are even illegal that I would suggest. I sold weed. You know, I remember one time that I tried to sell heroin, you know, at one point in time. And these are things that I'm not proud of, but I did them. You know, and I made, some of them I made money, some of them I lost money. Some of them, you know, I got myself into situations where it took a little while to get out of. Try to stay away from getting into legal trouble. Let me go ahead and add that on here. That should be number 5, okay? So we're gonna change this video across 6 things. We're gonna say 7 things, okay? So try to stay away from legal trouble, okay? This is one of the things that, again, I absolutely did completely wrong. I mean, it was just from the smallest things. As far as traffic tickets, oh my goodness. Once you start getting one, then they just start happening. It's like the law of attraction. You just start attracting the police, and you're probably on the same, are dealing with this right now as a, you know, young 20-year-old or whatever age that you're in. But once that first ticket hits, and you start getting more and more tickets, and then you start getting failure to appear, and then failure to appears turn into failure to pay fines, and then it's gonna get ridiculous. You're gonna waste so much money. And then once you start hanging out with the wrong crowd, I've been arrested for the most ridiculous things ever. Theft by receiving. I've been arrested for aggravated robbery. I'm here confessing to you. You know, I gotta be honest. And these are just, you know, hanging around with the wrong crowd, trying to be cool. Okay. There's just this thing that the young people just have this desire to commit crime. I don't know how else to put it. You know, it was really cool to, I remember even getting arrested and having that mugshot. That is cool. I don't even know where that comes from. You know, now looking back at it, it was ridiculous, the things that I did. You know, and me being an immigrant, I used to put myself in positions that I could be thrown back to Africa forever and not even be able to have the privilege of being in this country. You know, thank God that never happened, but, you know, staying out of legal trouble, man, that's big. That's big, and not just illegal things, but just traffic tickets, DWIs, DUIs. Don't do it. Don't get drunk and get in that car and drive. I mean, today it's kind of just dumb. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's just so many different ways. Walk. You know. So these are the things. Stay away from legal trouble. That's definitely a point that I would add on there, and I don't know why I didn't. The other thing is, seriously consider school. You know, I emphasize on this because so many people that I see just get into so much debt, and debt for stupid degrees that are never gonna do anything with them. You know, I hear all the time, and this is kind of a different point, but a same point. A lot of people talk about all these online courses. This guy's selling a scam. This guy's selling a scam. Nobody ever calls college a scam. Where you pay $40,000 or $50,000 for somebody, you know, for you to take a business class for somebody that's never ran his own business. That's gonna teach you some general basic ass knowledge that you can Google on YouTube. But nobody calls that a scam because there's a big building and university or whatever in the name of that piece of paper that they give you. You know, so I always say seriously consider college, because it absolutely isn't for everybody. You know, it absolutely wasn't for me. You know, I didn't even consider college, as I showed you in the video that I talked about how my mom almost stabbed me. You know, link is going to be in the description. You know, my editor, go ahead and show that video on there somewhere. So. Seriously consider college. It's absolutely not for everybody. I would highly advise for everybody to take a year off after high school and just actually adjust to the new life. You know, simple things that from the age of where you can remember, because I remember at 18, one of the biggest things that I had to adjust to is just going to school from Monday to Friday from 8 to 4 o'clock every single day. And then having the independence of not doing a goddamn thing from in the morning until the time I had to go to sleep. It was weird. It was strange. It was a freedom. And with every freedom comes responsibility that I don't believe I was ready for it. This is where, what's that saying? The idle mind is the devil's playground.
They don't say that the idle mind is the playground of the devil for no reason. If you got nothing to do, the world will do things to you. You got to be headed somewhere. You can't just lay in the Colorado River and not expect to be taken downstream. You actually have to swim in order to keep whatever's happening around you from depositing you somewhere you never intended to be.
You know, so don't have an idle mind. You know, so absolutely do something. You know, this is where you get into starting your own business, trying new things when it comes to different jobs. You're at that point that maybe your parents haven't even kicked you out the house yet. So this is where you have the flexibility. All you got is your goddamn phone bill. And probably right now you're on a family plan with your family. So you have the flexibility to try all these different jobs. And if you don't like it, you can quit. You can try something new. You know, so utilize that. Because if you're 30 and you're living downstairs in your basement, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, from even a self-esteem standpoint, it doesn't feel right. Okay? So, seriously consider college. Take a year off is what I would suggest. That's what I even told my children. I'm not gonna pay for college immediately a year out of high school. If you get a scholarship, great, good for you. I'm gonna support you. But I personally will not pay for college. You know, and I am absolutely not paying college for a business degree, for a criminal science degree, for a sociology degree, for, I'm sorry if you majored in, you know, any of these things, but these are dumbass degrees, political science. You know, history degree. These are dumb degrees. They just really are. Because, you know, we're not going to go there. Seriously consider college. Point number 6. The other thing is, don't be a slave to your impulse. Don't be a slave to your impulse. Some of the different habits that I picked up that I wish I didn't when I was 16 is, you know, smoking weed. And eventually it became a daily thing. You know, you might be in your 20s right now, and you know what I'm talking about. You and your crew of friends, your weed buddies, wake up in the morning, you guys probably spend hours to go buy that small sack of weed that you're gonna smoke within an hour or so, and it's gonna be noon, and then you haven't done a goddamn thing. You haven't hit the gym yet. You haven't done nothing. You know, and you're gonna waste your time, and it became a lot of people say that you can be addicted to weed. I absolutely disagree. It became addiction. It became an addiction that I still sometimes battle with right now. You know, it's something that I just recently, within the last, you know, I'd say 3 to 5 years, taking control over it, where, you know, I enjoy smoking marijuana. If I can just be brutally honest, I do. But, you know, water is also good for you, but you drink a lot of it, you will die. Okay, so it's something that I started doing on a daily basis instead of kind of just doing it nonchalant, even also with alcohol as well. You know, got to a point in high school that it was just a religion that you had to drink. If you didn't drink, it was considered for you to be weird or something like that. You just had to chug a bunch of beers in you, you know. So these are certain things that even later on in life, I had to kind of get in control of my alcohol habits. It got to a point where now I was drinking, and then after drinking, I would start smoking weed. It was ridiculous. And maybe you're doing this right now, but I'm telling you right now, it's something that you're gonna regret, because you're gonna waste so much time, you're gonna waste so much money. And if I was to go back, that's something that I would absolutely change. That's the video for today. That's what I wanted to share with you today. If you want to work with me and learn a little bit more about what we do here, there's going to be some links in the description, but I appreciate you. Absolutely, I would suggest like and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more content like this. I really appreciate you listening to me and rock with me throughout this whole video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out. This video is brought to you by our sponsor, Broker Solutions Academy. There's going to be a link in the description. We work with people that are interested in becoming a business loan broker. We have a very comprehensive business loan broker course, and we're going to be teaching you everything you need to know about how to become a business loan broker. Our mission statement is we help business loan brokers understand and simplify the various funding solutions that are available in the marketplace so you can properly serve your clients, stop the endless confusion and self-defeating pointless rat race they're currently in, and grow their business while maximizing profits by teaching them how to become a real business loan broker, not just a referral partner. This video is also brought to you by Pennington Consulting Group, and that's where we work directly with entrepreneurs and also business owners to help them get funded. So if you're looking to start, grow, or even expand your current business, Pennington Consulting Group, there's going to be a link in the description where you can go ahead and schedule a time. And like we always say at Pennington Consulting Group, our goal is to help you reach your goal. Again, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.